Hi everybody, welcome to the NCAA Lower Division Show. My name is Scott. Welcome to thescottshow.com. We are live, we are here, we are making it happen, so we are going to get started. First thing in Division 3, we got the rankings up right here from the NCAA. It is the it's the Coaches Poll, folks. The AFCF Coaches Bowl. So here we go. We're going to give you guys this. And we first start with others receiving votes. I always want to give a shout out to some of the teams that just totally didn't make it to top 25. Like Wittenberg, 6 votes. Lacrosse got 12 votes. Johns Hopkins, 22 votes. Mount St. Joseph, always got to give them a shout out. I love that school. 65 votes. Redlands in California, 92 votes. Oshkosh, 78 votes for Oshkosh. By gosh. All right. So we got a few teams. We got lots of teams that are undefeated. Bridgewater in Virginia, Union in New York, they're undefeated. Chapman in California, they're undefeated, 5-0. These are all teams that are in the top 25, but did not make the top 10. Case Western Reserve, what a cool school that is. 6-0 at number 17. Platteville 5-1, so that's not terrible. And Hardin Simmons, and we'll talk about them in a little bit. They're also 5-1 on number 14. But we make it to our top 10. Top 10 has not changed too much lately. We did have one drop from the top 10, and that was number 7, Barry. Dropping to number 21. Big loss there. But we have Salisbury moving up 1 to number 10. Salisbury is 5-0 on the season. Wartburg staying where they're at 7-0. North Central with the only loss in the top 10. North Central has the only loss in the top 10. That's crazy. And they are number 8, moving up 2 spots from number 10. Ithaca at number 7, Muhlenberg at number 6, Wheaton at number 5, St. John's at number 4. St. John's defeated St. Thomas at Alliance Stadium the other day. And then Whitewater at number 3, go Warhawks. I always got to give a shout out to the Warhawks. Number 2, Mount Union. And number 1, Mary Hardin Baylor, the Crusaders, or the Crew as I like to call them. They got 43 first place votes. Mount Union got 10. That looks like that's going to be your Stag Bowl. However, I got a few different things to throw at you guys. First of all, Mary Hardin Baylor is playing Hardin Simmons this weekend. That's going to be the toughest game that Mary Hardin Baylor is going to have. So check that game out wherever you can. I might be watching some of that as well. Got to cheer on the Crew. I'm a fan of football, so I mean, yeah, I love a lot of these teams. Mary Hardin Baylor, big time shout out to them. Whitewater, I'm a Wisconsin guy anyway. Mount Union, hey, they're just cool. So I like a lot of these teams. So if I say I'm cheering them on, I want to see what happens with the Crew against Hardin Simmons. Now, my thing is, Mary Hardin Baylor deserves to have their championship back. That they got vacated. So NCAA do the right thing and give Mary Hardin Baylor their championship back. So here's the other thing. The other thing is that in the wide world of sports, you have the Bowl Championship Series, which has 4 teams making the playoffs. And if that were to happen today, it would be Mary Hardin Baylor and St. John's facing off in one semifinal, and Whitewater and Ohio facing off in another semifinal. That would take out Wartburg, that would take out Ithaca, that would take out Wheaton, that would take out John Carroll, that would take out some of these teams, that Platteville, that would take out Wesley, all of these teams. You got 32 teams that make the playoffs in Division 3. But in the biggest one where all the money's at, you got 4. I disagree with that, so there you go. Mary Hardin Baylor and North Central. I mean, that would be a hell of a game, too. Ithaca and Mount Union. Muhlenberg and Whitewater. I mean, these are games you might actually see. But unless the Bowl Championship Series got to get it together. And big time shout out to Division III for having such a great playoff bracket. So we are going to now go to Division II. We'll see where we're at there. I have not actually seen this one yet, so this will be a shock to both of us as we go along. So here we go. We got others receiving votes and making it happen. So we got Miles in Alabama. They get 1 vote, so they're new, so we'll give them a shout out. Got Nebraska Kearney at 3 votes. You got Minnesota Duluth at 5 votes. Getting dropped after losing to Sioux Falls. Maybe we'll see Sioux Falls somewhere. Who knows? Dixie State. I like their name. Dixie State at 37, and there's Sioux Falls at number at the others receiving votes at number 20. 20 votes for them. And Fayetteville State in North Carolina, 5 votes. And so there you go. Now, we go to the list itself. We do have all 10 teams undefeated. So that's kind of a crazy deal for that. We do have Virginia Union. They weren't in the top 25 before, so welcome. Henderson State, welcome to top 25. Westchester got whooped and dropped 9 spots from 12 to 21. And Northwest Missouri State got beat, and they dropped to 14 from number 7. So they are out of the top 10. So your top 10 goes like this. There is no number 10. That might sound weird, but Slippery Rock and the Colorado School of the Mines are tied. So they both are at number 9, 519 votes respectively. Indianapolis at number 8, moving up 2 spots from 10. Rensselaer Rhine at number 7, moving up 1 spot. And then 6 to 1 has stayed the same with a few exceptions that I'll let you know. Notre Dame of Ohio, Ouachita Baptist, Tarleton State, Minnesota State, Ferris State, and Valcosta State is your number 1 has been for a whole season. Tarleton State has 1 vote. I like Tarleton State. I hope they beat Minnesota State this year. That would be my dream game at this point. Tarleton over Mankato. Ferris State at number 2, but no first place votes. Tarleton State has 1. Valcosta has 30. So there is something there. There is, and again, Division III. I think it has 24 teams that make the playoffs. If not, it's 32. I will check here just briefly as we're on the show and I am live. I don't really care how it goes. I just like to give you guys the numbers. So it looks like we have, and excuse me for being wrong here, it looks like there are 28 teams that make the playoffs. They have not came out with the new bracket yet, of course, because we're still a little bit into the season. But it does look like 28 teams make the brackets for that. A 1 seed getting the bye, and then all the other teams are in there. So, there you go. So, I'm looking forward to seeing where that's going to go coming up here. But I want to see Tarleton State defeat Minnesota State this year and face off against Valcosta State. That would be my 1 and 4. If we do the bowl thing again, it'd be Tarleton versus Valcosta, Ferris versus Minnesota. And I'm going for Tarleton State this year. So, yeah, big time shout out to them. Alright, and then we go to the championship series. This is the one lower than the bowl series. And this will be the poll for that shock of all shocks, where we're probably going to go with this. But lots of changes on the top. So we'll start out with others receiving votes. San Diego gets 2. Chattanooga gets 2. North Dakota gets 7. New Hampshire, the Wildcats, 16 votes. Probably got 1 of my votes, but they did drop out of the top 25. They were 23. Central Connecticut State, Sam Houston State, and Florida A&M, welcome to the top 25. Jacksonville State also welcome to, Jacksonville State dropped 7, so I was trying to be nice, but I read it wrong. North Carolina A&T drops 7 spots from 11. Nichols and Furman both drop out of the top 10, and Montana drops out of the top 10 as well. None of the teams, so Davis is 4-4, but none of the teams have bad losing records like they used to. And here's the top 10 for that. Number 10, Central Arkansas. Number 9, Montana State. And number 8, Sacramento State. I didn't know Sacramento was a state. Number 7, Illinois State. Number 6, Villanova. Number 5, Weber State. Number 4, Kensington State. Number 3, South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. Number 2, James Madison. And number 1, and the only one to get first place votes, the North Dakota State Bison. Big time shout out for them. And it is going to be state and state as North Dakota plays South Dakota. North Dakota State, South Dakota State for the North Dakota marker. So we are looking forward to that game as well. So thank you guys so much for listening to the Scott Show, the lower division show. I do love doing this show very much. So we will see you guys here very soon on thescottshow.com. Just recognize that, yes, it is this weekend, 3 o'clock. It is in Brookings, South Dakota State, North Dakota State, for the Dakota marker. That's going to be quite a deal there. The last time they played twice actually last season, and South Dakota State got whooped both times. 21-17 in the first game, and then 44-21 in the second game, which was the semifinals in the tournament itself. So you guys have a great day here on the Scott Show. We will see you here very soon. Check out all the other great shows, and we will have lots of cool stuff coming up on thescottshow.com.